Welcome, friends. I am Huntanor the Storyteller, and I would like to continue for you today the tale of our pirates of the Mediterranean. Grand Emir of Mayurqa, Al-Aladdin, sets his sight on Sicily, the last of the great islands in the Western Mediterranean. He knows that his personal strength isn't enough to defeat the Byzantine Empire, so he looks to their rivals, the Abbasids, for aid. Determined to control all the waterways of the Mediterranean, he will strive for a strong alliance between himself and the Caliph. And if, in the end, that alliance leads to him swearing fealty to the great Abbasid Empire, it is his belief that that unification will lead, eventually, to the dominance of the one true faith over all of God's creation. Emir al-Aladdin's next goal is very clearly the taking of Sicily. The taking of Sicily is a two-part challenge. First, we need to conquer the independent portion of Sicily, and we will be asking the Caliph for his aid in that now that we are allied. This guy doesn't really stand much of a chance against us. He's almost our equal in just straight military power. We don't want to take any chances on losing these wars. If the Caliph invests his troops in making sure that, the guy we tortured is paying homage, well, we will accept his homage because we'll accept everybody's homage, but he still doesn't like us very much, and that's probably correct. I mean, we did torture him and go to war with him twice, back to back. From Al-Aladdin's point of view, religious unification and acknowledgement of the dominance of the Caliph, I think, is going to be a powerful part of how we preserve our own power and help to project the power of our faith against the Christians. If the Caliph... Oh, my wife is pregnant. I think my steward will handle this. Staying on topic. If the Caliph supports us in both of our two wars, which I'm sure he will because we are marrying his daughter, then we will end the second war once we control all of Sicily by swearing vassalage to the Caliphate and acknowledging him as the true leader of all Muslims in the world. I think it aligns well with our attempt to prove that we have put our father's barbarous insanity behind us and want to invest ourselves back in being good and faithful Muslims. We may even consider changing our faith to the Caliph's faith, but that I'm not certain of yet. My father's leadership in Mayurqa began with the Umayyads in Al-Andalus. This is true, but there is a great deal to be gained by both of us in an alliance. I am on the cusp of controlling the majority of the waterways of the Mediterranean Sea. The Caliphate needs slaves, and it needs security for trade to flow from Persia to Iberia. I provide that security. Yes, your father's dominance of the seas was proven with the conquests of Sardinia and Corsica. The Grand Emirate of Mayurqa is undeniably blessed by Allah, as is its new emir. What do you propose? I wish to forge an alliance between the Grand Emirate of Mayurqa and the Caliphate, but more specifically with the Grand Abbasid dynasty. There are still two great conflicts in front of me before I can solidify Muslim dominance of the seas. If you will support me in my conquest of Sicily, I will swear fealty to you as a vassal and grant you the might of my fleet. I will bow to you both in matters of politics and, as I already do, in matters of faith. And this will strengthen your influence abroad and garner legitimacy and security to my operations. You will also offer me an excuse to try my might against the Greeks, which is something that I am very interested in doing. Yes, I agree. And to solidify this tie in blood, you shall take my daughter as your wife. Once we are done, there will be no power in the world that can defy the Caliphate. My brother wants us to become friends. I'm perfectly happy with that. It'll strengthen my internal relationships. I'm just going to stay inside stewardship a bit longer, and we have a son and heir. Tough little kid. We'll name him after our dad. We really need to save up and buy that silver mine as quickly as possible. And then here is our next stewardship perk. Centralization will be really useful to us. We are going to switch out now. We can put her on managed domain, which will solve our low stewardship problem without having to have it selected anymore, and we'll switch over to learning right away. All right, we are now officially married to the Caliph's daughter. making us tightly bound up with the Abbasid Empire and the Abbasid dynasty. We'll just put a sway on him to improve that relationship. It's going to be one of the more important relationships going forward, making sure that he likes us enough to support us in every single one of our wars is going to be important. It's also going to be important when we do the big war, the one against the Byzantine Empire, that we have him well allied with us, and we have lots of prestige on hand. Don't know how much longer we're going to wait before doing this. Can't quite do it, actually, because we are not illustrious yet. So that is going to have to be our first focus. We're going to have to push becoming illustrious as quickly as possible. Let's just build that silver mine finally, and we'll hold court. There's a lot of advantages to holding court. Many of the outcomes aren't really great in the court, but a lot of them do give us little things that we need. While I would love that 350 prestige, I'm inclined towards taking the compromise version that gives us a bunch of prestige. We have a lot of RNBS. I don't even know if we do anymore. Anyway, compromise is fine. Most likely I'm going to pay for it in spite of the fact it's going to put me into debt. We make money fast enough that we can afford a little bit of debt. We're definitely not doing this. I don't mind dread, but I'm not up for more tyranny right now. We're struggling to get the people in our court to appreciate us. Yeah, it's definitely going to be pay for it. Immediately punished for going into debt. Thank you, game. Thank you for immediately punishing me for going into debt. We'll just fix that right away. He's pretty skilled, so it should just come right off. She is definitely an eater. So, brother, what can you tell us? I don't think it's our wife. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure it's not our wife. You know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna follow the thread forward. We're just gonna see where it goes next. We're gonna flip the coin, even though that sucks. We got it. So Tidor was the person who was actually doing it, and we have swayed the Caliph. Awesome. Well, we no longer have an antiquarian, which sucks. And my brother has formed a cadet branch, which is pretty much inevitable. He's going to want to have his own influence over his own house now that he's an emir, and that's perfectly acceptable. One of our wives is pregnant again. We're still not there yet. We're still not illustrious, but it's going up pretty fast. We're doing a good job. Probably should be saving our money to go on more hunts and feasts, though, if our intent is to get that as quickly as possible. I suppose I should promote a new antiquarian. Our physician is good at it, so let's just do that. Oh, he's a lunatic. Well, you know, we're accustomed to dealing with lunatics, right? Our pa was a lunatic. And he was completely unmanageable and awful, but this guy doesn't have as much influence. It's fine. I definitely don't have any high amounts of trauma related to a lunatic. Oh, my second son is quick. Name him after her father. Seems like a good idea. And we have finished that increase control task, which is good. Annoying we had to do it at all. It's usually a good bet to go a few. Oh, our brother wants to synergize our friendship to give me stewardship, and that is absolutely going to happen. We don't even need to leave that on screen for a second. We know we want that. And our son here is going to follow in our footsteps, I think. Because we're doing the learning, we're going to have pedagogy, so having him be educated by us is a good idea. And since he's inclined towards our focus, which is stabbing, we will help him to learn to stab. We have a long and proud tradition of stabbing in our family, whether it be by inclination or by profession. I mean, our profession is Emir, but training, inclination or training. Take scientific first. Probably should have taken pedagogy first now that I think about it. Because it's a check, it's not guaranteed, but this will be fine. We have twins, another son and a daughter. Ooh. Well, he's tougher than his big brother. Agalid and Keitra. Keitra's good. Yeah, I like those names. And what is this? An exotic. Oh, let me just look. I do need armor. We're going to take the bet again. We're going to go into it. Are we going to get a bad... Are we going to get an immediate negative effect every time we go into debt from now on for the rest of the game? We have bad luck with that. Like, just straight up bad luck with that. Again, his good skill means he's going to correct it right away, but then he's going to have to spend some time fixing it out. The mining settlement is built. That's really good. Look at all the money. Almost 13 a month now. We can give up a small amount of prestige currency, because that doesn't affect how quickly our illustrious comes. Although gaining prestige does affect it. Yeah. If we had another focus right now, I definitely would have buttered up the Caliph, but right now it's important to stay on target. Poor woman. I mean, what can we do? It's a chase for prestige. I keep obsessively looking at it, even though I know exactly how fast it's going up. Again, we just had this. No, we had the other one. We had the culture one. This is, we want him to like us, but not enough to become less famous over it. We are going to have a ton of children. I am so glad that we can now transition to an early high partition, because it would be very troubling if we couldn't. I probably should make an attempt. I should probably think about if there's a way available to me to take the last county in the Duchy of Sardinia, because that's going to be the territory controlled by our children pretty much for the rest of time now that we're high partition. Another son. It's hard to tell. All of our sons are getting traits. They're not getting the best ones available to them, but they're all getting them. And it's hard to tell which one of them is best. I don't know if I'm going to interfere with it, to be honest. I'm just going to let it happen as it happens. And now that we don't have to interfere with it, I don't see why we would. Our oldest son will be suitable. He'll be good, right? Unless he really messes up and we have some reason to turn against him, we should just let him inherit. Just let it happen naturally. And it's time to hold court again. I'm not just giving him territory I control. That seems extreme. And I'm just not giving him territory I can control. Like, none of these are going to be fine. So it's going to have to be the last one, in spite of the fact it makes him leave. I'm not giving him my own personal territory just because he asks for it. Now we've lost our marshal. That is a problem, because he was literally the best. I think we're going to put this Wali in there, because even though he is way inferior, he's probably good enough, and we should try to put our strong vassals in. Send our daughter out to this little party. And he's finished the survey and mapping. Shoot, that was supposed to be pedagogy. I gotta pay attention to that. It's fine. What? Our daughter drown? Okay. First of all, I'm not blaming the kid for it. Because it's not the kid's fault, I hope. Yeah, it was an accident. It was definitely an accident, so we're not going to blame the kid for it. That's just absurd. We're not that kind of cruel. We're not going to blame a child for an accidental death. These guys are all trying to create factions against me and then changing their mind back and forth. It's kind of messy. I don't see any reason why we would delay this. Now that we're ready, we want Sicily. Everything in the Duchy of Sicily will be ours. So let's just got our circumstances here. Call our allies to war. First, the Caliph, because his army is enormous, and that's why we've been trying to make him like us so much. Pretty much he's all we need, so we're not going to bother with anybody else. This is the closest point, I think. Nothing we can do. We're going to have to send our guys to sea, which is probably going to put us into debt or close to it. But the good thing is we have enough income to support our army. I don't know. A lot of these are good, but I think we should just push to the center of law, because that's what we've started. We're not going to land directly in case he raises an army and stomps us with penalties before our allies show up. I don't think he'd be able to, because I think my military is stronger enough than his, even with his allies, that he can't just stomp me. Now that we have a relatively high positive relationship with the Caliph, we're going to try to do a befriend with him, I think, just to solidify the relationship. Yeah, I think that's the right plan. It's only 51% chance, but good or bad, as long as we don't make our relationship worse, it's worth the attempt. But we're going to land. We're going to let our debuff go down, and then we're going to attack him then. Here we go. There's the big army of the Abbasid Empire coming our way to help. That's what you want to see. This war should actually be, I don't know if it'll be quick, but it will be easy. There should be no chance of losing it, not with the amount of troops we have compared to this guy. Our wife is pregnant again, and the war is going quite well. We're just going to handle these sieges. The Caliph seems to be leading his armies to defeat the armies that pop up, which should mean this will be pretty quick. Guy keeps creating that disillusionment faction. That's a little problematic. I mean, what? Oh, Jesus. Oh, really? You know, after we invested so much in this friendship and this relationship, he is just straight dead. But apparently, we didn't care enough to take the stress, it looks like. Now we're going to have to do everything we did before, but try to do it with his son, which is a less strong relationship. It is definitely more tenuous. What are we going to do? Will he marry our... No, he's not on the list, so he won't. Oh, because he can't. He's betrothed. He's too young. You can't betroth more than one wife when you're still a kid. You can't get second marriages till you're older. So I think that is going to end up being what we do. We're going to try to get this kid to marry our daughter. That'll technically be an even stronger relationship than the previous one where we married the daughter of the previous caliph, his sister. We could probably repair this. It's fine. It's fine. He likes us a little. Brother, I need to speak to you of my husband. Why? He has nothing to offer me. Our father's obsession with the West was always a weakness of his. What does this Emir mean to me? My husband is one of the strongest leaders of the faithful in the world. Our father knew what you seem to miss, that the caliphate needs a strong, controlling presence in the seas. We need to test our strength against the Greeks to show them that our strength is real and that we're not weak and can be taken advantage of. His acknowledgement of you as caliph and his oath of vassalage to you will make our family stronger. Denying him risks making him an enemy, and making him an enemy is unwise. Unless, of course, your intent is to use your strength to destroy him now. You're reaching beyond your place, sister. If you have nothing more to say, leave me be. Your opinion of your husband is wrought with bias. Brother, I will say this before I go. My husband, in his wisdom and in deference, offers you the same agreement he offered our father. He will acknowledge you as his liege if you uphold our father's commitment to supporting him in this final war with the Romans. Please, I hope that you can see that this is in the best interest of both of you. Fine. I will consider your words and bring your advice to my advisors. Your husband will have his answer before long. The war is going very well. The empire is... Oh, they have just taken the son of the war leader, which pushed our 73% above 100, and we have won. We now control the majority of Sicily. The only territory left to take is that held by the Byzantine Empire, something we can't exactly deal with right now very much. It's good news, though. We are going to have to figure out a way to deal with getting this guy back in our best graces. The son of our former ally needs to become our ally himself, because I'm going to be honest, we stand no chance against the Byzantine Empire without the support of the Abbasid Empire. I am pretty sure that they will gladly help us with that, but we're going to have to do some work to get the new Caliph 100% fully invested in our plan. I'm quite uncertain as to who to put this place in control of, though. We definitely can't hold it ourselves. We are stretching ourselves to be able to control 5 domains. Our brother is the best choice. I was looking through the whole list of everybody in our court, and there's really nobody. Like, nobody at all. This is going to make our brother a lot stronger. But, I mean, he's our best friend. We have a ritualized friendship with him, and he's our most loyal vassal already, so consolidating the power of these 2 islands under him is really not a bad thing. We found her a suitable guardian for her learning preference. We're going to keep ransoming these people off, ransom that kid off, and then ransom his wife back to him. Good. We're making so much money off of that war, it's kind of unbelievable. And our brother has finally come to pay homage to us, and with money in hand. Bro, thank you. You're just the best. You are just the best. And just chop his head right off. Whenever we see that thief event, we just chop his head right off. There's nothing more or less to it. Just no thieves' guilds. This guy keeps making these stupid, useless disillusionment factions that only he participates in. It is the worst. I want to marry one of my sons to his daughter. Definitely not my heir, but I mean, I got lots of sons. This 5-year-old, for example. But he will not do it. He will not do it. I don't think there's any way we're going to get him to change his mind about that. None at all. Can't demand his conversion. Dealing with this guy is going to be like super, super annoying. I actually had a simple, straightforward idea for how to deal with the guy who keeps doing his stupid disillusionment factions. Forming Corsica and giving it to our loyal vassal on the island will get that stupid guy out of our hair forever, because he will become very quickly somebody else's problem. Yes. Emir Al-Aladdin II, you can deal with that stuff. That's you now. That's all you now. So just straight militaristically, wars have put the Byzantine Empire relatively close to us in power, but we do not want to declare that war until we can get the Abbasid Caliph back in our camp. He is not as powerful as his father. His power is going up very rapidly. Our power base has become very strong. Just build these walls and towers, and we still have enough money that we can probably build something else somewhere else. Most likely, this is an appropriate time to begin really strong economic development while we prepare for the next world. We'll go with the priests on that one. No, pedagogy. We remembered it this time. Thankfully. Okay, we got our pedagogy. It's all good. If we're going to do this feast in Allah's name, I shall turn the other cheek. I love this outcome. It's one of my favorites. It just turns a bad event into a good one. We all have to pitch in. That's not so great. The wine merchant should be in town. I don't have 100 gold. It's too bad. I would like to become friends. And we gained Eager Reveler. That can help. I don't like a gluttonous heir. That trait tends to stick around. At least that's been my experience. He is finally of age. And now that he is finally of age, let's see if he will marry my oldest daughter. He will not accept. So our choices here are, we can develop our relationship with him more with sways, which would be just a good idea in general. So that's the next step. Oh, he doesn't like us as much as he did before. Probably we've been neglecting him. Probably we should have spent some sways on him while he was still young. Maybe he sees us as a rival for power. So our development here in Mayurqa is actually still quite low. I won't be pushing it, though, I don't think, because I need to move the capital. I probably should do that sooner rather than later. Is there a reason why I've been putting it off? So what are we currently working on? Planetary Assemblies is about to go over, and then barracks will happen not long after that. We do need more development inside of places that are controlled by our culture, because that development is essential to getting better. Yes, you can definitely continue to rule the lands that I have put in your control. Our expansion of infrastructure is growing. Open-minded should help us with some of the problems we've been having. Let's just build our trade port here, finally. After all this time, we're starting to build the trade ports that our father planned to build an unknowable time ago. Will you do it now? Now that you like us a little bit, will you do it now? Still, no. So we gotta really focus on trying to get you to like us more for this to work. That's fine. It'll happen in time. It's not like we're ready for that war anyway. I just hope the Byzantine Empire doesn't become so strong that this becomes impossible. Probably could fix this right now by swearing fealty, but I don't want to swear fealty until after I've secured his help with the Byzantine Empire, because once I swear fealty, I don't think he'll be able to support me in my wars of aggression anymore. Planetary Assemblies is finally finished. We want to work on battlements, but I think royal prerogative is more important, so we can eventually become equal inheritance. Oh, interesting. It's enough. So we have a family alliance between him because we are married to his sister now, which really helps with the situation. I feel like it would still be a good idea to have him marry one of my daughters, but this really puts us into a position where everything we want is much closer than it was just a little bit ago because of that one sway success. We're going to work on getting our military up. Hopefully we can get it to around 4,000 pretty quickly by building some men-at-arms that we've been putting off. He's deceitful. That's not great. Another daughter. We have many healthy children, and that's good. Things are going quite well. We're not quite at the point we need to be where we become the scourge of our enemies. I guess deceitful is actually good if you're going to be going for intrigue. He is going to be the first pirate king, after all. Hopefully we can get enough prestige that we can have practiced pirates before he takes over. Him being the first pirate emir of the Mediterranean would be pretty cool. Like, I mean, his father will be the one who initiates it, but he'll be the first one to really rule as a pirate. So we've imprisoned our wife because she had an affair on us. And now that we've done that, we're going to get a cat to replace her. Actually, we're going to make our secondary wife, our longest serving secondary wife, our primary wife, which should fix all of our problems. But we're not going to divorce our wife because, I mean, I don't hate. What the hell is this? Is this really worth the? This isn't worth the money, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't know why I did that. What a waste of money. Okay. Yeah. As I was saying about my wife, so she has had an affair on me, and she is now in prison. But I do not consider her to be. I don't hate her. I just think she's embarrassed me. So she can just basically live the rest of her life out as my secondary wife in house arrest. For all intents and purposes, her situation won't be that much worse than it was before. Also, I have a cat now. All right, we are now going to get scholarly circles, which will boost our personal knowledge because we need that to start our tech going up faster, continue to expand our domains with our money, and to expand our military with our money. Starting to get to the point where this stuff is all looking good and strong. Vassal is paying homage. No money, but that's fine. We don't need money from them every time. I need money from you every time. It is my wife, and she has successfully seduced me. I should say she has successfully romanced me, and I agree. I'm perfectly happy with having my lover be my wife. There we go. We are now apostate. Soon we're going to have finished pretty much everything we need in learning. We have a great relationship with the Caliph now, even better than we had with his father, which is good. I wonder if we should just try to befriend him. Maybe later. This war is definitely within our power. I don't know if I quite feel ready for it, but we have done all of the work. We've put in all the work. The Caliphate is our strong ally. We have plenty of prestige on hand for declaring the war and bringing our ally to fight it with us. We are significantly stronger than him. Very soon, even if not now, very soon. We're definitely almost to the place where that war will be possible. We will go to the young Caliph. We will request his aid. In exchange, that once our war is completed, we will swear fealty to him and become one of the strongest powers within the Abbasid Empire. That guy's big. Look at that giant. He's huge. He is absolutely huge. Huge. Another son. Oh, he's a bright boy. He's a bright boy, very smart. The pikemen have now reached cap, so our men-at-arms are nearly complete. We're going to have to start building onagers, though, something that I have been putting off, in spite of the fact I do actually have that. I have had that technology. Oh, our new son is sick. Hopefully he recovers. Oh, one of our counselors has died, and Uzza has grown up, and he is already a drunk. Did you see that? Like, I spied that drunken face right away. Didn't even need to stay on the screen. That's good. He's an okay chancellor. I mean, I'm okay with my brother being such a drunk. I told you. I saw those red cheeks. I saw them from a mile away. So you're a drunk. I don't know if I want my heir to be a drunk at 16. That's something we're going to have to think about. I mean, he needs to start, turning himself around because never mind. So we have a new heir. He is my ward. He is being relatively well taught by us, and my original son is a drunk, and I don't want him to inherit anything. I might find him a small piece of territory at some point to retire to, but I ain't having it. Drunkenness is definitely a religious no-no for our faith, and he had all the opportunities in the world, and he became a deceitful, gluttonous, drunken asshole. There's just no way we're entrusting the Grand Emirate to him. Oh. Oh. I see. The Caliph's sister has died, leaving me with only 2 wives, one of whom is permanently imprisoned. I mean, we never developed much of a relationship with her, but I did like her, and I have a great relationship with her brother. My wife, your sister, is dead. I know that you had a strong relationship with my father, and I admit freely that at one point I resented it. It was one that went beyond a simple alliance of convenience. Even as a boy, it was clear to me that the two of you were growing towards friendship, even a relationship akin to brothers. My resistance of you was unwise. You have done nothing except offer to make my position stronger, and since my father's death, I have needed that strength. I have already ratified the alliance between us at the request of my sister, and now, with her death, I would like to offer the hand of friendship. Thank you. You're right. I did wish to become closer to your father, and it was genuine. It wasn't an attempt at manipulation. He was a good man, a holy man, and someone I could respect. And your sister, she was a good woman. I barely knew her. My life has been so full, and she was the third and youngest of my wives. But I do miss her, and I think, after a fashion, I did have love for her. She was loyal, and she was good. I have always hoped that you and I could have a bond similar to that which I had with your father, and I still believe that it's in our best interest to work together. Our combined strength will assure that the Greeks don't come looking our way to expand their power. And I believe taking what they hold in Sicily is the lesson they need to understand we are not weak, and we cannot be easily made vulnerable to their advances. Then we shall both make ourselves ready. With this war, we will solidify our bond once and for all. Together, we will eclipse the Romans. Together, we are stronger than we are apart. Acknowledge my position and power, and you will have my aid in the coming war. Then it is done. Soon I will be ready, and when I am, I will call for your aid. After this last conflict, the Greeks will know the power of the one true faith. And learn on the job. Very important. Not sure where we go from here. Maybe yes, just so we can get groomed to rule, I think. Oh, Uzza, you are such a disappointment. I should have known that was a curse. Here, you could just marry away. Just marry and go. I always feast before hunt, just so that we don't become obese. That we seriously do not need. We're going to need a lot of prestige if we're going to do those reforms that we want. They're about halfway there, and we're starting to become a bit of an old man. I said a long time ago I was going to fix this. I am definitely wealthy enough that I could just put all these to the middle, so we're just going to put all these to the middle. So that we don't have bad hunts and bad feasts anymore. And then, after talking about how important it was to do those in the other order, I did them in this order. It's fine. Fine. More alliances mean more strength for our upcoming war. We will eat it here and now. That's what I mean by gluttony. Once somebody becomes gluttonous, it passes on really easily. I think we're as ready as we're going to be. We have strong alliances. We have a new heir. I think this war is coming. I think that is the very next thing we need to do. He's gotten stronger, but we are certainly not weak, and we're still definitely in the range where we can win. It's almost at the point now where I think the war will happen immediately, which is good. We will go, we will ask our ally, the Caliph, to support us, and then afterwards, we will become a vassal of the Abbasid Empire, securing their strength in the Mediterranean and thus ours, and hopefully making them strong enough that the Byzantine Empire is no longer a viable threat to Muslim power. After that, I mean, we can become the defender of the Mediterranean. Who are we going to give this? We're going to give it to our wife in prison. She can keep the cat. It's cool. It sucks that we can't keep Might ourselves, but, you know, we actually do care about our wife enough that we're not going to make her suffer every day with the discomfort of pet allergies. Free prestige, just because we're an eager reveler. Yeah. Next is war once again, and when that war is complete, we will be very much in the place where we can start doing the things that will make us as strong as we want to be. And so, with half of the campaign in Sicily complete, and a new alliance established with the young Caliph, son of his former conspirator, Al-Aladdin prepares for the final war before becoming defender of the Mediterranean. He works to drive his island culture towards its ultimate goal of dominating the sea, of becoming a scourge on those Catholic nations which surround his islands on all sides, and showing them that there can only be one true faith in all of the world. If you wish to see whether or not he can succeed at this goal, please consider subscribing so that you can join us next time when his story continues. Thank you, and I hope to see you then.